Horror films are great, aren't they? Tales of unnaturally strong murderers, monsters that just want to tear your flesh apart, and of bearded men called Jules who hide under your floors with naught on but a smile and carrying a screwdriver. I kid, of course, I'm not actually there. Don't worry. Yet. Still, even I have to draw the line when horror becomes reality, and time again you will hear stories of movie sets being plagued with terrible events which make the hair on your balls just curl. We've covered this before, now let's look at some more. With this in mind, I'm Jules from WhatCulture.com, and these are 8 more horror films that eerily came true. Number 8, The Curse. In 1987's The Curse, a pathogen-packed asteroid strikes down on a farm, contaminating its crops, making its livestock sick and crazy, and then mutating some of the unfortunate human residents. But a sort of similar scenario happened in real life in September 2007, when a meteor crashed near Peru. A noxious yellow gas was reported to have seeped from its crater, making some of the locals ill and causing cattle to get sick. Scientists then probed the incident, and their explanation was that the first visitors to the crash site breathed in dust particles and debris, which is what made them sick. The rest has been put down to mass hysteria when they arrive back in their hometowns. Alien pathogens is a much more interesting explanation, but further research is tricky since meteor poachers got their mitts on it and the space rock was sold on the internet, because that's what we are as a society. Number 7, Candyman. The tale of Bloody Mary has inspired many movies, TV shows, and video games since her folklore birth way back way. Italian psychologist Giovanni Caputo explored the truth behind the myth in a 2010 experiment, in which he got 50 participants and had them gaze at their reflections in dim lighting for 10 minutes. Many of them actually did see something otherworldly while staring into the mirror for so long, with almost 50% claiming that they spotted fantastical and monstrous beings. There were no such reports of hook-handed men slaughtering any of the participants, but Caputo claims his study explains where the Bloody Mary myth came from, and he puts it down to a phenomenon called the Caputo effect, or perceptual fading, in which that's where the eye stops working properly and the subconscious mind fills in the blanks based on expectation or experience. So, therefore, if you are expecting to see a hook-handed man, the chances are that one will actually materialize. But it's weird though, because whenever I tried doing this, I just saw more me's, and they were doing some awful things with body butter. Number 6, The Exorcist. From set fires to injury suffered by the lead actors during shoots, The Exorcist's development was so stricken with issues that cable network E! made a 2-hour documentary exploring all unexplained phenomena. Perhaps the most chilling of the happenings were the deaths of 2 actors while the film was in post-production. Eerily, both of their characters died in the film as well. Ooh. And when the movie held its premiere in Rome, a 16th century church across the street from the theatre was struck by lightning, causing its cross to fall to the ground. Now, obviously, everyone freaked out and blamed Satan for doing the deed. However, my counterpoint is this. If he's the f***ing devil, can he not muster up a little bit more spice than that? Come on, Charlie. Number 5, The Birds. Although this incident in the Monterey Bay area of California occurred slightly before the Hitchcockian classic landed in theaters, it's still a chilling case of life imitating art since the book it was based on was published a decade earlier. Without warning, the residents in the area found themselves under mass avian assault. Crazed seagulls and other birds dive-bombed people, launched themselves at houses and vehicles, and crapped all over the place. In 2011, scientists finally came up with the theory that toxic algae had gotten into the birds' food supply and wreaked havoc with their brains. So, yeah, not so much that the birds were evil, and more basically body-snatched birds. Which just sounds even more terrifying. Number 4, London After Midnight. Horror movies inspiring real-life crimes have been going on since the dawn of cinema, as is proven in the case of murderer Robert Williams in 1928. When Williams proposed and was unfortunately refused, he became enraged, and after apparently seeing a vision of a spirit in a mirror taken from the silent era mystery horror London After Midnight, he took up a razor blade and fatally wounded her. The movie in question focuses on a character who coerces others to commit murderous acts through hypnosis, which sounds pretty cool, but unfortunately if you're hoping to see this one day, you're out of luck. The last known copy of the original version was destroyed in the MGM vault fire of 1967. Number 3, The Purge. The Purge series is set in a world where all crime is legalized once a year for a 12-hour period, kind of how Gateshead lives day to day. Jonathan Cruise made this fictional nightmare a reality for anyone he crossed during a 4-day round rampage. Inspired by the movies, the 19-year-old fatally shot 3 men before the law finally caught up with him. Along the way, he attempted to rob, intimidate, and cause property destruction, all the while sending numerous texts to his girlfriend, making references to the movies. This earned him the nickname the Purge Killer. Number 2. The Omen. There was talk of dark forces at work while the biblical horror The Omen was being shot during the mid-1970s. Planes carrying cast members and crew were hit by lightning, and the Rottweilers used in the film attacked their trainers. Far worse came, however, once the film was released. Prop designer Liz Moore was killed in a road collision in the Netherlands in 1977. Now, this was a tragic accident, but the circumstances were chilling. Moore is said to have been decapitated in a similar fashion to David Warner's character in the movie, and the crash took place in the vicinity of the Dutch town Omen. Of course, the whole thing could be a string of eerie coincidences, but Moore wasn't the only fatality around the time of the film. Pete Postlethwaite, who played the priest in The Omen, claims his brother died suddenly during production not long after drawing 3 6s in a card game. Again, seriously, the devil really needs to stop being so coy if he can just pop people's clogs like this. And number 1, American Psycho. When your role models are Patrick Bateman and Hannibal Lecter, there isn't much for you to do besides end up in a jail cell, which is where Florida student Michael Hernandez ended up when he acted out his dark fantasies. The American Psycho-obsessed teen lured a school friend into a toilet cubicle and stabbed him 40 times in a brutal murder that condemned him to a life behind bars. Subsequent evaluation of Hernandez revealed that he related to Bateman and Lecter and sought to emulate them, from their superficial charm to their gruesome pastimes. The wannabe serial killer was also under the illusion that God had given him special powers and the divine right to commit murder. Okay then, well, that's me done with interacting with anyone ever again. You're welcome. And that's our list. Got any other horror movies that came true? Well, let me know about them in the comments section below. Then head back to whatculture.com for more news and articles like this every goddamn day. As always, I've been Jules, you've been awesome, and I'll speak to you soon.